Hi and welcome. I'm Lisa Jane Vargas and I am a tennis player and yoga teacher. Today I'd like to offer you a short yoga practice that incorporates some poses that will be helpful for you if you're a tennis player in particular, or really can be practiced for anyone. I will be using some props like a tennis racket and some tennis balls in a sock. And as tennis players, we use certain parts of our body more than others. And today what I'd like to focus on is the neck and shoulder area along with the hips. And those are some of the key areas that I know when I play, I feel maybe some tightness or some tweaking maybe sometimes that goes on after playing like I do. So I hope this is helpful for you, and let's begin. So just come to a seated position on a mat or wherever you are, and we're going to start off with some breaths to ground us and just bring us into the moment. What I'd like to invite you to do is place your hands palm down on your knees and make your back and your spine tall, like you're sitting up against a wall. Your sit bones are grounded into the floor, into the mat. And maybe just gently close your eyes. Relax your shoulders down, your spine. Maybe lifting and opening your chest and drawing the chin in just so slightly so that it's not jetting up or forward. With eyes gently closed. Let's take a deep breath in, just a natural breath in, and breath out through the mouth. Another 2 breaths in, and exhale through the mouth. One more time, breath in, and exhale through the mouth. Bring your hands together, fingers and palms together, and then gently place your hands at your heart center. And again, closing your eyes. This time we're going to take four rounds of a counted breath. And as you inhale, expand your belly so that you really get the breath in through the diaphragm and up into the lungs fully. So on the in-breath, we're going to count to 4. At the top of that in-breath, we're going to hold for 7. And then exhale through the nose for the count of 8. Second round, I'll count in 2, 3, 4, and hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do 2 more rounds of that breath on your own. This is a great breathing pranayama to help us be grounded and centered and maybe just release some stress and anxiety from the moment, from the day. If you find yourself in a stressful place throughout your day, you can always use this breath practice. And it really does help slow things down. There, let's just drop your arms down by your side as you just inhale with no count. Just inhale up and rise your arms up to the sky. Bring palms together and down through the center line of the body to the heart. Another time, inhale up with arms out, sweeping out to the side. Relax shoulders, palms together. Gently roll that prayer down to the heart center. One last time, inhale, reach up, and exhale. Great, bring your hands down by your sides. And I'd like to invite you to maybe uncross your legs and cross the opposite way. It might feel a little uncomfortable if we automatically go into a seated leg cross, which is most comfortable for us. Take your left hand out to the side on the floor or the mat. We're going to take your right arm up to the sky as you inhale, and then as you exhale, we're going to lean over to the side into a seated half moon. We have a beautiful full moon right now. I hope you all get to see it this evening. Inhale as you come up. Exhale as you lower your arm. We're going to practice Ujjayi breath in through the nose and out through the nose. It's a great practice to, again, keep that calm pranayama throughout your practice. You take the right hand out to the side as you lift your opposite arm up as you inhale. Half moon to the other side as you exhale. I like to bend my arm here, the one that's holding onto the mat, or you can reach it out a little further. But the object here is to keep your hips on the mat. Inhale as you rise up. Exhale as you reach down. Take one more time. Up with that one arm. Reach out with the other arm on the mat. Keeping both glutes on the mat. Maybe open the chest a little bit more, so bringing that top shoulder open. Inhale as you rise up. Exhale, lowering the arm down. Let's do one more on this side. Inhale as you reach up. Exhale as you half moon, side bend. Inhale on the up. Exhale on your lower. Great. Just roll the shoulders back, open up the chest. So lifting shoulders up to your ears, roll them back and down the spine. You'll hear me saying, bring your shoulder blades down the back or down the spine, lowering your shoulder blades. And this is exactly what we want to do when we're in many of our postures to help not create more tension in the shoulders and even in the chest and the pecs. One more time, rolling back, open the chest and lower, shoulder blades down. You're going to gently take your left ear to your left shoulder, and we're opposite here because I'm facing you. Keeping your shoulders down. And if you feel okay enough to bring that arm around, just gently place your hand on top of the ear and give it just a little gentle extra stretch. And release. Let's take the other side, right ear to right shoulder. You might notice if your forehand or backhand, that one side is more tight than the other. Maybe bring that other hand around, just lightly place it on top. You don't want to pull or jar your head. It's just actually the weight of your hand is probably enough to give you a little extra stretch in the shoulder and neck. take both of your hands back behind your lower back, clasp your hands together as you roll the shoulders back and down, similar to what we just did in the shoulder rolls, to open up the chest, lower the shoulders, and maybe your hands are pressing back away from your seat behind you, but straightening the arms with clasped hands as much as you can to get a nice open stretch through the pecs and deltoids, something we use a lot in tennis. And gently release your clasp. Now, if you have your racket near you, if you live with your racket, go ahead and take it and maybe just hold on to the handle and raise the racket up overhead as you inhale. And exhale, lower down. Gentle grasp on the handle, raising up. And as we do this lifting with the arms, we want to keep our shoulders down as much as possible, away from the ears. Inhale as you rise up. And exhale as you lower through the nose and up. And exhale. Great. Just release your racket down. We're going to do a little opening. It's part of the joint freeing session series. And bringing your arms out to cactus arms so that your elbows are about the same height as your shoulders, palms facing forward. And we're just going to keep the shoulders down and the shoulder blades down the spine. Bring the elbows in towards your chest together, and then open. We'll add breath, so let's exhale as we bring together, and the inhales on the open. Kind of general rule of thumb is anytime you are in the most strenuous part of an exercise is when you exhale. So let's say we're doing maybe a chest press here, if you will, for the pecs, squeezing the elbows in together, which you can do here isometrically or kinesthetically. You can bring the elbows in and squeeze the pecs and release with an inhale. Now we're just going to drop the hands down forward, a little rotator cuff movement, getting the synovial fluid moving in shoulders. And these are some great exercises you can do before playing. Exhale as you lower. That would be the exertion. Inhale as you lift out. Exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. Great. Bring your elbows down to your sides and just shake it out. Kind of kept those arms up for a little while there. Some other great exercise stretches you can do for tennis elbow, for your forearms, and even up into the biceps and triceps. Bring your palm out in front of you and gently take the other hand to grab a hold of the fingers and gently pull down to really stretch and open up that wrist, forearm, and again, relaxing shoulder down. Instead of up here, you want to bring shoulder down. Maybe circle out that wrist. One way a couple times, other way a couple times. And shake them both out. Let's take the other arm, palm up. Take a a hold of the fingers, lowering the fingers to really stretch out that palm through the wrist, elbow, and shoulders. I know I'm a two-handed backhand tennis player, so I do use my opposite arm quite a bit. So on both sides, this feels very good. And release and shake it out. Let's do a couple releasing and restorative breaths. Take a deep breath in and exhale through the mouth. Breath in and exhale through the mouth. Great. We're going to come on to hands and knees. So in tabletop position. I'm going to give you a couple of cues for this position. We want to spread our fingers wide. Pointer fingers facing up to the top of the mat, and the rest of your fingers are splaying outward a bit. And then your shoulders are over your wrists. Hands are about shoulder width apart. Knees are underneath hips, and back starts out nice and flat. We'll do a couple cat-cows to help warm up the rest of the spine. So we're going to arch first so that you create like a cup with your back. And as you lift your chest, push through the shoulders and gently lift your head up and forward slightly without kinking the neck. We want to work through the spine here as we roll down, tuck pelvis, round up the back, dropping the head all the way down. Allow the head to roll all the way down. This is going to feel really good on the entire spine, the back of the shoulders, the neck, and tuck it down, roll up the back. One more time, let's take an inhale as we lift chest forward. And always keeping in mind that the shoulders are pressing down the back without lifting up into the ears. And let's go flat from here. Now we're going to do a really nice shoulder stretch. What I'd like you to do is take your left arm up to the sky with a bit of a twist, keeping hips as level as possible. We're going to take that arm and sweep it underneath and through the other arm and reach to the opposite side. So I'm going to turn so you can see me in this direction, give you a different view. We reached up first in a twist, swing through, and allow your head, the side of your head, to just reach the mat and release. You can bring your arm out straight overhead. You can bring it out to the side. You can keep it bent. You have a couple of different options, so do what's best for your body today. And gently release, unthread that needle, we call it. And we're going to try the other side. This is a wonderful stretch for your upper back and shoulders, your rear delts, trapezius, rhomboids, all those big muscles that we use when we play tennis. Let's reach the other arm up into a slight twist again, keeping the hips as flat as and level as possible. Bringing the arm underneath to thread the needle. Putting a slight twist in the spine here. Pressing your shoulder down towards the mat, reaching arm up overhead, out to the side, or maybe bent with elbow on the mat. And just allow the weight of your body to deepen into this stretch. Couple breaths in these poses. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And let's come back to all fours. Again, palms underneath shoulders. Let's just take a little bit of a side to side sway with hips, just side to side, keeping your arms as they are, just to start warming up through the hips. The medius, minimus, maximus, gluteus, IT band. We do a lot of lateral movement in tennis. So good to keep this whole group of muscles around the hips mobile. Maybe sit back into your seat here for a moment, and then come forward, and then sit back into seat. Warming up the thighs, hamstrings, glutes, quads. Great. Now I'm going to invite you to come down to your seat. Let's start with an extended leg, or Paschimottanasana we call this pose in Sanskrit. Feet are flexed, and you just saw me pull the flesh of my seat out so that my seat feels very grounded here. My spine is nice and tall, shoulders are down and back, and I'm flexing my feet. Staff pose, so our legs and arms are extended fully up and forward. Hands are down by our seat. Let's take your arms up to the sky with an inhale. And then we're going to reach towards our toes, our ankles, our shins, with a nice straight spine, almost even into a back bend. So if you feel yourself starting to round and lowering your head as you round, let's actually start, instead of rounding, in a straight spine position, reaching your chest through your shoulders and your arms, and then you'll start to feel that through the back of the legs, up into the glutes and into the lower back. You can grab your big toe if that feels good to you, your pointer and middle finger and your thumb. Wrap around the big toe, and maybe after a couple breaths, you feel like you can lean forward even a little bit more. Let's gently release and rise up, straight up. We're going to take our right leg over left, and we're going to focus a little bit on this outer thigh, IT band, hip area. So I want you to clasp your hands and just take a gentle pull or nudge of your leg, holding underneath the knee, not on top of the knee, but underneath the knee, to pull that leg in close to your heart as much as you can. With a nice flat back and maybe a little bit of a back bend with your chest reaching forward. Your Chin's gently tucked in. Your foot, the top leg can be flat on the mat. I'm going to give you a different view here. And then let's take the opposite arm. So you have whatever leg is in front, you're going to take that opposite arm and wrap it around. We're going to go into a twist. The opposite arm that's free is going to land behind your seat. And before we twist, let's sit up nice and tall. So we're elevating the whole core up away from the hips. And then as you twist, imagine your spine just twisting first with your head coming in last. So your spine from the bottom, like a corkscrew, up to the top with your head last. Looking over your shoulder, and even reaching your eyes beyond your shoulder. Your bottom leg is nice and straight and foot is flexed. Just hold that for a couple breaths. And as you unwind, you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to reverse the corkscrew. And let's take that leg back out front. And now that leg's going to remain straight forward, foot flexed. Opposite leg's going to come over, maybe placing your foot flat if you can make it flat. And the key thing here is to keeping your seat and glutes on the mat so your hips are level. Clasping hands, bringing that leg in close towards your chest and really pulling it in towards you. You might even get a little bit of a bicep and tricep contraction here. Elevating the core, the rib cage away from the hips, nice and tall, relaxing shoulders down, flexing the bottom foot, so that you can even get a little bit of a stretch in that bottom leg through the calf. Our calves get a lot of work on the court, and so we want to be kind to them any chance we can get with stretch. Okay, release that gentle nudge, and we're going to take the opposite arm of the leg and wrap it around, lifting the core up from the waist, hand placed behind. And let's go into our twist on this side. So body twists first, then head twists last, and then maybe looking all the way over the shoulder, really extending the head to help twist the neck into a stretch. So we're getting beautiful nutrients flushed into the spine and the muscles around the spine when we release our twists. So every little bit that we can twist into this pose, the better. And release out. Unwind. Extend that leg back out front. Maybe shake them out a little bit. Maybe tap out the legs. Get some blood into all areas of the thighs and legs. All right, as promised, we're going to use our tennis balls in the sock for a little myofascia release. And I know for me, hips and legs and knees and calves, it's all connected, and it's definitely an area that can use a little love and attention after I play a couple times a week. So what we want to do is you can use one tennis ball, which is pretty much what I'm going to recommend right now. So I had two in this sock because I use it actually for the neck area, which I can show you another time. But if you take a tennis ball and in the socket just helps keep it more stable. So we're gonna lie on our back, and this, you just have to play with it. I mean, you can place the ball on the muscle. You don't want to place it on the bone, on any bone in particular, because it really isn't going to be doing anything, but you want to get into the muscle area so you can find the spot that works for you in the glutes. Maybe it's in the IT area on your side, and you want to be very careful and gentle so that you're not pressing too hard, but just enough so that you feel maybe a little bit of a release. And when you find a spot that feels like it's the spot, that's where you want to stay and hold it for a few moments. In particular, I really like right where the glutes and the back muscles meet. So I'm going to place it right in that area for me. And then just gently, you can roll. It feels good to roll, but if you find a spot that needs a little, it's like a massage, that needs a little extra hold and attention, you can just hold it there for about 60 seconds and then move on to another spot. So I'm just going to modify here. I would love for you to be able to do this on your own more after. Just getting the other side in about the same area that I had on the other side. And I'll just go ahead and take that out for now. But again, I encourage you to take the time to use the tennis ball, not only on the court, but for your myofascial release. Let's go ahead and lift your knees into your chest. Just hug your knees into your chest and maybe rock a little bit side to side. Extend your left leg, keep your right leg in. Really pull that knee in, extending the opposite leg. You're also welcome to bring the knee up to the sky with your foot flat on the mat in order to keep your lower back pressing into the mat and not too much stress on your hip flexors and your low back. Let's go ahead and change legs. I'm going to keep my free leg bent so you can see that, or extended out. One leg might be a little more cooperative or flexible than the other. And release both feet down to the mat. We're just going to end with a bridge pose that's going to help strengthen the lower back and the core. So bring your feet underneath your knees, and they're just pretty close to your seat. Arms are down by your sides. Just go ahead and gently roll your shoulders like we did before in the beginning with rolling them up and down and back. You're going to do the same thing here when you're lying down for a bridge pose. You can place your palms up, and then we're going to lift the pelvis, starting with the base of the pelvis, reaching the pelvis up to the sky. Belly's in, ribs are in, and this is the area that you really want to strengthen and elevate and focus on. So, core. Hold it for a breath. Watching your knees so that they don't splay out, but keeping them as parallel with each other as you can.
And then as you lower, start with the upper back, middle back, lower back, your seat, all the way down to the sacrum. Let's do that one more time. Elevate from the sacrum, up, 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 up. Elongate your neck so that you're not crunched and your shoulders are up into your ears, but elongate, shoulders down, neck is nice and long so you can breathe. And gently lower again from the top of the spine, middle, base, sacrum, and release. Great, bring your knees into your chest one more time. Really give them a good hug. Doing a counter stretch to that back bend. Bring your knees down to the mat and then gently extend your legs out for our final resting pose. Arms are open, palms are up, shoulders are rotated back and down. Shavasana is a pose where we aim to be completely still. You don't have to do a breathing practice here, just breathing naturally. What I meant by breathing practice was like what we did in the beginning. So you're just breathing naturally. Allowing your body to fall into the ground, fall into the mat, into the floor, be held. Maybe think about what you're grateful for. Maybe one of the things is that we get to play tennis. We have the ability, our bodies are healthy to play an incredibly fun and challenging sport. And thinking about the gratitude of being able to practice fitness and yoga in ways that will help expand the lifetime of your muscles and the ability to play tennis or any sport. We're using our joints, our muscles, our balance, our minds. And taking the time to offer yourself a practice that will help enhance your game and your sport. And take a deep breath. Bring your feet flat onto your mat. Just choose a side to roll onto as you lift that arm up overhead so that your hand or your head rests gently on that upper part of your arm. The hand that's in front of you is going to help lift your upper body up so you come back to a seated position. Let's end where we started with our palms facing down, our spine nice and tall. Maybe
Maybe gently closing eyes, bringing palms together at heart center. Take a deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth. And from the tennis player in me, honoring the tennis player in you, namaste. Thank you for joining me. I'll have more tips and yoga poses to offer you in upcoming videos. Thank you.